So I've been holding off on the Da Vinci 3-in-1 Pro review for a while because I thought there is no way this machine could be this bad. But the truth is, it really is. So stay tuned and I'll tell you why.
I bought the XYZ Pro because it could print in multiple materials. It was supposed to have a 3D scanner and a laser option. It's supposed to be wireless, but I was unable to get the wireless to work. I was unable to get the scanner to work. I was unable to get the calibration to work. It's just not a very good
On paper, the 3-in-1 Pro looks like a good machine. It's supposed to be able to print all these materials, 20 to 400 microns, 120 millimeter speed, guided calibration. That does not work, okay? The laser engraver I didn't buy. The scanner doesn't work. None of this is really valid. The printing area is decent. When I first ordered the Da Vinci 3-in-1 Pro, this was not my first XYZ machine. The XYZ Da Vinci 1.0A, and they were both fantastic machines, other than they had to use proprietary plastic filament. So when they came out with the 3-in-1 that had a scanner and could use open source filament and a laser attachment, it seemed like a no-brainer. I was very excited about it, and so I ordered it. This also had an auto leveling option, and it had a fairly decent build volume, like 7.8 by 7.8 by 7.8. But that was pretty much all hype. The scanner does not work at all. I've calibrated, I get nothing but errors. I upgraded the software. Nothing, doesn't work. The auto calibration leveling doesn't work at all. In fact, it took me several days of just messing with it, finally manually editing it to even get it to print. The other complaint that I have is that there's no place for you to actually put secondary filament. It just isn't friendly to it. I built a spool in back, and they still don't want you to use non-proprietary filament. So there was all these failures involved.
There was a couple things that I was really disappointed about. Number one, there is no SD card attachment at all. Number two, it is still designed for proprietary filament, and getting non-proprietary filament into the machine is a real struggle. It just does not work well. It was not very well designed. Unlike the other machines that have a quick change extruder, this one is not quick change. It's a real pain in the ass when it gets plugged off and you actually have to clean it out and fix it. They really cut corners on this machine, and it really shows up. Again, the laser doesn't work. The auto calibration doesn't work. That little probe right there is supposed to measure. It doesn't work. And maybe I got a lemon.
Testing it, thinking it can't be this bad. It can't be this bad. And after a couple weeks and finally manually calibrating it, I was actually able to get some decent prints. But for the money I paid, I don't know, $7.99, hoping I was going to get the 3D scanner and the auto calibration. And like I said, none of that works. You'd be better off buying a cheap Chinese machine for $300 and save, or two of them for the same price. But certainly compared to the other XYZ machines, the XYZ 3-in-1 Da Vinci Pro is just not worth the money. In fact, I wouldn't recommend it to an enemy. This is the second worst printer I've ever owned. The worst being the 3D Systems Cube. And it'll probably, sadly enough, because I could get zero support from XYZ. I got an email and they basically told me to go contact the guy I bought it from, which is a reseller. He doesn't know anything. This will be my last XYZ machine. So my recommendation to you is to not waste your time with any of the XYZ machines. I hate to say that because some of the smaller machines actually worked really well for me, but their total lack of support, their total lack of problem solving or anything designed to help people with their machines is just not justifiable for a company of that size. I was able to get some decent prints, but if you have one or buy one, you better be ready to manually calibrate it because nothing in the software worked. I know that in some of the user groups, they're actually flashing them and putting them on open source software, and that's probably the direction I'll go, or I may part it out. It's just not a good machine. So buyer beware. I'm going to have to say that the XYZ 3-in-1 Pro sucks. If you like what I'm doing, please subscribe. It helps me out, and more reviews in the future.